particular close stuff up for you. Now, if we told you prisoners in the UK were being given ladders and scaffolding, you might start to worry that they plot in their escape. But it's all part of a scheme to tackle the number of reoffenders in British prisons.
Yes, now Raphael Roth, former prisoner turned reporter, has been to see one of these schemes in action.
Prison. It's meant to stop criminals reoffending, as well as punish them for their crimes. But in the UK, we're failing. And we're failing quite badly, as nearly half of all adult prisoners in England and Wales will be back behind bars within a year of their release. The rates are similar in Scotland and Northern Ireland too. And reoffending's an expensive business, costing society around £15 billion a year. But here in Brixton Prison, they're trying to turn that around. I spent time in Brixton Prison, in fact, on this wing, A wing, as an A-secure prisoner. I used to come down these stairs and go into a caged exercise yard. But then it was all about punishment. What they're offering now is rehabilitation. Prisoners here are offered the chance to train as scaffolders. On the outside, newly trained scaffolders are paid around £80 to £90 a day, an incentive to stay on the straight and narrow. Arjun Patel is one prisoner hoping to make the grade. He was given a 2-year sentence last year for handling stolen goods.
I'm using my time constructively. It's nice to be around good people that you can learn off. You know, we're not all bad people. We all work as a team when we're working.
How can we be sure you're not coming back to prison again?
Because now that I've got my skills in scaffolding, I think I'd like to put them into practice.
Funded by property company Land Securities, the scheme's a UK first. It's run by the charity Bounce Back, who specialise in helping prisoners train for and find work.
Your 4-metre tube there has got to be changed over to a 3-metre with your ladder gate.
Trainer Mark, known as Scaff, has 25 years' experience as a scaffolder and comes in 5 days a week.
The route we take in here is no different to how it is outside on a construction site. We show them the same way, we talk to them the same way. If it's raining, we still ask them to come out and work through the rain. If it's on site, you would do the same thing.
What's the big incentive? I mean, apart from getting out of their cells?
You get the odd one, that'll be their incentive. But most of the guys come through because they know there's prospects at the end of it.
And that's because there's a shortage of scaffolders. If these guys complete this course, not only will they be guaranteed a job when they get out of prison, but they'll also earn a decent wage. A decent wage reduces the risk of them going out and committing further offences. But the scheme's not immune to the problems facing prisons across the UK.
We have to have an officer with us.
Right.
If they're short-staffed and they haven't got enough staff for the wing, then we don't get our staff member to come over here to sit with us. And if that's the case, then these guys have to go back and they lose out on a day's training.
And it's not just a pipe dream, the jobs are real. I've come to meet one of Brixton's graduates. Former fraudster Jason Hill is now working as a scaffolder full-time. And guess where he's putting up scaffolding? Here at Scotland Yard. You just couldn't make this up. Jason, good to meet you. You've been given an opportunity. How has it changed your life?
Well, I mean, before even though I'd come out, I'd try and get work. The work would sometimes be very few and far between, and then the bit where I wasn't in work was where I used to get myself into crime, do a little bit of dodgy things, and by coming out and doing this, I've been given the opportunity to support my family, actually be a provider, get up for work every day and know that my job is stable and long term.
The project can only work if employers are willing to take a punt on ex-offenders. The stats show that 6 out of 10 employers automatically exclude anyone with a criminal record. But for managing director of scaffolding company Alandale, Matthew Warner, the new recruits are filling a skill shortage.
There's loads of work going on at the minute, but there's a shortage everywhere of good staff. We expect the same from everyone, you know. They've all got to work the same, they've all got to turn up on time, and they've all got to work safely or they haven't got a job with us.
And is the pay good? I mean, do these guys earn proper money? They're not being exploited?
No, they get paid the same as everyone else.
Of course, this scheme can't solve our high reoffending rates on its own, but Matthew's certain it is making a difference.
There's another 4 or 5 that should be coming out just after Christmas, that'll be 10. We talk this time next year, could be 20, 30, 40, that I don't think will go back into reoffending.
And Jason too is certain his life's changed for good. Do you think you'll ever go back to committing crime now you've been given this opportunity?
Absolutely never. Hand on my heart, there'll be nothing that'll make me go back. I love my job, I love my family, I love the person who I am now, not the person I was.
Well, Raphael is here now. What we heard there, I mean, the scheme in Brixton has been a roaring success, hasn't it? But are there similar schemes then going on in other parts of the country?
Yeah, it makes a difference, doesn't it? You saw Jason, he said at the end that it makes a difference. There are schemes in prisons all over the country for both male and female prisoners. Some of them are not all to do with scaffold in the construction industry, but there is a skill shortage in the construction industry. So Land Securities, Alandale, the companies that have gone into Brixton specifically to set up this scaffolding scheme was because there is this shortage. What's really interesting is big brand companies, Marks and Spencer's, Greggs, the Co-op, employ ex-offenders. In fact, Timpson's, one of our high street retailers,
the key people.
they cut keys, they fix the soles on your shoe when they fall off. They recruited up to 450 prisoners to come and work, ex-prisoners and prisoners to come and work with them. They go into prisons, they run workshops to train prisoners. So they are the biggest employer of ex-prisoners and people with convictions. Virgin have just employed people to work on their West Coast trains. They go into prisons and actively recruit every few months prisoners who are about to be released to come and work with them. So a really good scheme.
And do you see this as a bit of a game changer? Because this is about businesses going in. This is not a government scheme, is it?
It's not a government scheme. The government have a role, of course. They've got to allow these companies to go in.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the game changer. When Marks and Spencer's invest in training prisoners and give them a job, and that's what it's about, guaranteed jobs when they come out of prison, because you can train as many prisoners as you want. If you don't give them a job when they come out, then they could go back to square one. For example, you look at the conviction rate, 60% of prisoners reconvict after 2 years of being released. Guys that come out and girls that come out that have jobs, that reduces to half. Now, that's significant.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
is a good statistic.
It is a
isn't
big
it?
figure.
And I mean, obviously, Raphael, you've seen all the news headlines. You've heard what's been going on in the prisons recently. A lot of bad press. You know, overstretched to their limit. All sorts of threats going on within prisons. So, are our Justice Department doing enough at the moment to cover this and address these issues?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because they've just announced these game-changing reforms. They've talked about introducing an extra 2,500 prison officers. Why are they needed? Because more and more prisoners are being locked up because there's not enough staff to allow them out of their cells to do meaningful work and activities, which is key to rehabilitating prisoners.
Yeah.
But what I think is the most important change is giving governors of prisoners, so these are the guys and girls who run these establishments, the autonomy to spend their finances how they want. Previously, governors were restricted in what they spend the finances to run their prisons on. So now they can invest in education, these kinds of training programs, which really do change the lives of prisoners. And that is a big, big difference, makes a big change to prisoners when they come out of prison.
But it gives the guys something to work towards, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. It does. It is a changer, you know. But it's all about the big businesses, and they are starting to buy in. You know, when you're talking about Virgin going in and recruiting prisoners, I mean, they do it on the outside for the unemployed, ex-military, you know, who end up coming back from wherever they've served, end up in prison. They need help. These companies are going in there. The Ministry of Justice do offer a service, but it's nowhere near like what these companies and big businesses can, because they offer a job at the end of the day.
Yeah. Do you think personally then that this white paper covers enough?
Look, I spoke to the Prison Reform Trust, who are big on issues to do with... They think too many people are being sent to prison in the first place. Prisons are overcrowded. So that's the first thing that needs to be done to stabilise a breaking system. And the system is broken. We've seen it, haven't we? The riots you mentioned, the inmates, violence and that sort of stuff. For me, I go back to that point, it's about big businesses. They have to work, you know, because these schemes will only be successful when they go in and offer people jobs, real jobs. So I think that's where the change comes. I mean, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? You'd think if it's as simple as that, it would be already achievable. But we've got 80,000, 85,000 prisoners in our system. And this is offering jobs to 5 here, 12 there, 10 there. You need thousands and thousands to come out with jobs.
But it's paving the way, isn't it?
It's paving the way.
Yeah. Thanks, Raphael.
Thanks.
Thank you. Now we're going to stay on the subject of crime fighting now, but the fictional type, because Jonathan, Craig, Alan, you are back in a Christmas special.